One of the big misconceptions about lead guitar is people tend to put lead guitar and rhythm guitar into completely separate camps. And rhythm guitar is dude that plays chords, lead guitar is dude that plays solos. And you couldn't be more wrong about the lead guitar duties. The lead guitar, maybe in a typical rock band setting, maybe 10% of the time you're playing solos. Maybe 10% of the time you're playing fills and riffs, give or take, depending on the song, depending on the style of music, whatever. Either way, most of the time, as a lead guitar player, what you're doing is rhythmic based. Even if it's chords made of 2 or 3 notes, you're still doing something that's rhythmic. And so when you're not playing solos, when you're not playing riffs, you're playing chords. So in order to separate yourself from the rhythm guitar player and make yourself more of a second rhythm guitar player, if you will, is to add embellishments to your chords. Rhythm guitar players, you can do the same thing. But if you're in a band with two electric guitar players, or an electric and acoustic, whatever, it's up to you to kind of work out the details. But lead guitar guys, you're playing rhythm a solid 75-80% of the time. So here's something you can do to really help with that, and that's embellishing your chords. Instead of just playing straight power chords during the times you're not melting faces, expand your chords a little bit. Make more notes. Embellish. By embellish, I mean take a humble C chord, and you've got, let's say, a free pinky here. That can go somewhere, so put it somewhere. Or, if you dare, I wouldn't. But playing around with some of these some of these notes that live around the chord tones, and instead of making them a feature, as in making them an entire chord, just visit the note for a second. Do something like that, and now you've taken the C chord, you've given it a little bit of movement. The rhythmic pattern is up to you, of course. Something else you can do, instead of just changing 1 or 2 notes in a chord, is to change all of the notes in the chord. You hear this a lot in blues and in jazz, where you hear these embellishments of an entire chord starting in a completely wrong place and moving right up to the correct place. You take the old Hendrix chord, and starting a fret away and then sliding up to the correct fret. Again, you don't want to make that a feature. If you do, you're hurting people pretty badly. So you slide up or slide down, and all of a sudden you've justified these horribly wrong notes that you just played, and the listener is going to forgive those crazy musical anomalies. If you stay on them too long, they're going to go home and kick their dog, and you don't want that. So you make them an ornament. You create a brief moment of horrible tension, and then immediately release that tension. And in terms of tension, a very tense chord like this is probably a horrible example. Maybe something like something like that. That's maybe a little more relieving, like a standard major chord. But try that in your chords. Add embellishments, give movement, change notes around, and just visit some of these chords that live on either side of your normal chord tones, whether they're notes that belong in the key or notes that don't belong in the key. you can use them to your advantage and really add life to your chords.